What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 80. We're starting today's episode off on the back of the big rebuild. Yep, 9 signings since we arrived here at Juventus. The Italian core is coming together nicely. All of our signings have been Italian thus far. We've got some great pickups on free transfers in the faces of Bernardi and Bovi. We've brought in a couple of good young Italian stars. Well, not young now, 28 years old, but they were young at the time when this Career Mode started in Donnarumma and Bastoni. Now both 90 overall plus, and of course we brought back Fagioli and Keane and our new fullbacks as well, Birindelli at right back and Ughhhhh at left back as well. This team is coming together really nicely, but we're not done yet. We are not done yet. We still have over 80 million in the budget and a couple of weeks to go before the new season begins with our Serie opening day at home to Fiorentina. So I thought, right, looking at the squad, what are we lacking? Depth, no doubt about it. We're still lacking depth, and if managing Bayern last season taught me one thing, it's this: if you ain't got depth, it's going to be hella tough to win multiple honours, just like it was last season, where it seemed as though we'd probably only won the one trophy. We were knocked out of the DFB Pokal earlier in the third round to Freiburg. Very embarrassing early knockout at home. Obviously in the Champions League, we let's be honest here, we should have gone out of the quarterfinals to Barcelona. We came back from 4-0 down. 4-0 down in the first leg to win the tie in one of my greatest comebacks ever in a European tie. And even in the Serie, we didn't wrap that up until late on. So we need depth here with Juventus. I need to learn from our mistakes last season. So to start today's episode, I thought, right, okay, where are we lacking in depth most? Centre half. Well, lucky for me, there's a ton of great young Italian defenders available, including this guy. Yup, from Newcastle United. I said to Eddie Howe, let the boy come home. Fabrizio Conti, 21 years old, 81 overall, shows great potential. This guy is 6'5", with 89 strength, 88 jumping, and 81 heading. Yeah, I don't think this guy will lose many aerial duels, no doubt about that. So buzzing with that signing right there. And he'll sit on our bench instead of Bernardi, who will now drop to the reserves. He's only 20 years old, though, to be fair himself. So we've got two really good young Italian defenders now, where we need to swap out Araujo and also the new man in Bastoni as well. But talking to good young Italians and talking to good value for money deals as well. Well, I said in the last episode, I said the episode before that as well. Doesn't matter how much money you got. Doesn't matter how good your team is. Doesn't matter how much depth you've got. You should still check the free agents pool every single year. We picked up Bernardi, we picked up Bovi, and now we've picked up Christian Rossi. This is a young centre forward that shows great potential. 78 overall. And he looks absolutely amazing. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills. He's quite small at 5'5". He reminds me a bit of Lorenzo Insigne. I wonder whether he is Insigne's regen as well. He's got a little bit of pace. Technically, very, very good as well. Really nimble on his feet with 85 dribbling, 86 ball control, 84 agility, and 81 balance as well. To me, I would definitely say he looks like the Lorenzo Insigne regen, especially at 5'5" as well. So, yeah, Rossi in. It shows great potential. 78 overall and still a teenager as well. That is a brilliant pickup on a free transfer. And again, despite all the money we have with Juve and all the money we've raised as well, can't beat a freebie. Cannot beat a freebie. Free players are coming to give us squad depth. And we haven't had to pay a single penny in transfer fees for them either. You love to see it. So following that, RB likes to put a bid for Chiesa. I just laughed and I was like, no. And then following that, a bid for Marley Ake as well. You would have seen in the last episode a bid, we accepted it, but it was it fell through for Marley Ake, but for Brentford, 10.5 mil accepted there. And one thing I would say is this as well. You see our fixtures for August here. Our first 2 games at home to Fiorentina and away against Salernitana. Ake goes to Brentford for 10.5 mil in the end. You'll notice that we sold him, I think it was the 3rd time of asking actually, or at least the 2nd time of asking. With Marley Ake, he was on like a really high wage. And what you might notice is there are certain players in your squad that you might struggle to shift. There are certain players in your team that are squad players, not the highest overall, not terrible, but not the highest overall, that you might get transfer offers for, but they turn down practically every single bid. If you're wondering why that is, and you find it so hard to shift them on, it's normally because the club that's put a bid in can't afford to pay their wages. So for Marley Ake, he was wanted by Sporting Lisbon in the last episode. The reason that deal fell through is because in Portugal, in the Liga Portuguesa, what you might know is that player contracts are very, very low. player contracts are really, really low in the Portuguese league because it's, mirroring what you see in real life as well. Portuguese clubs don't pay as much money on weekly wages as other European leagues. But in the Premier League, those clubs have got the money to burn because of the TV revenue. So that's why he turned down Sporting, but went to Brentford. At Sporting, he's playing for a major European side. He'll be in European football every single year. Brentford, no reason why they can't get there in a few years. Go on, Ivan Toney, keep on banging them in. But, the reason he chose Brentford is because it's a much higher salary. So the reason why you might notice that some players you struggle to sell is because their wages are too high for the destinations of clubs that are putting the bids in. So, for example, if you've got a player that's on 15 grand a week, yet he's only 64 overall, you're really going to struggle to sell him. And the reason being is very, very simple. The clubs that are putting the bids in can't afford those weekly wages, and the player won't reduce the wage demands that much. So that's why you might struggle to sell those players. Anyway, following that, we signed a new free agent goalkeeper, our fourth freebie of the window, as Lombardi comes in. Just a young goalkeeper, and he's got no potential tag, but really, it's just for the realism, to be honest, here, as I turn down these bids here for Vlahovic, Araujo, and also Guimar Reyes as well. They're going absolutely nowhere, but it's just for the realism. I say it all the time, in FIFA career mode, you can get away with just one goalkeeper. You can get away with just having one goalkeeper, because at the end of the day, goalkeepers don't get injured in FIFA CM, and the likelihood of them getting suspended is about as likely as me getting married between now and the time I'm 32. AKA, it's definitely possible, and it definitely could happen, but it's very, very unlikely. So because of that, you can get away with one goalkeeper, but for the realism, it's best to have at the very least two, and I like to play for realism as well, so for me, I tend to go for free minimum, especially if my team is playing European football as well. For squad registration, a club practically always registers free goalkeepers if they're playing in a European competition. You see it a lot nowadays in the Premier League as well. A lot of the big English teams will register, homegrown in nation goalkeepers. So, for example, Manchester United had Lee Grant or Tom Heaton recently. Obviously Manchester City, everyone knows Scott Carson, Chelsea, Bettinelli. So that to me is why I tend to get homegrown goalkeepers. The same nation as the club for a third choice for the realism as well for the squad registration rules. Even though, like I said again, you don't physically need them, I just like to do it for the realism. Anyway, following that, it was a bit of Konrad Laimer. We negotiated with Dortmund, and he looks as though he's going back to the Bundesliga. Yeah, now, I'm a big fan of Konrad Laimer. Very, very versatile. He was going to be my Fred this season. Back in season 2, 3, and 4 with Forest. 2, 3, and 4 with Forest. Fred was that versatile player that played practically anywhere when I needed him to fill in. Last season with Bayern Munich, it was Bauer, that young German talent that spent time playing fullback, wingback, CM, LM as well. With me, Konrad Laimer was going to be that guy, filling in wherever, but now 30 years old, Dortmund putting in a bid, want to take him back to Bundesliga. I thought, you know what? Just like with Bayern last season, no one's safe, we're going for the rebuild. I'm okay letting the older players go. If Lane wants to go back to the Bundesliga, I'm okay if Dortmund match 45 mil. They do, and he looks like he's on his way to the Signal at Duna Park, and I'll need another one of those versatile players to pick up because we all need them. I really do believe that. Every team needs a jack of all trades that can fill in wherever when you've got an injury crisis. So, first and only game this episode. First game with Juve, season opener, tough one. The lads from Tuscany, Florence, Fiorentina coming to the Allianz Stadium, and man, how good is it to see Juve's licensing back in the game, man. Seriously, Piemonte Calcio didn't quite have the same ring to it. Yep, Juve's stadium added into the game. I've got to say, for a club of Juve's size and stature, I'm surprised it's not bigger than actually. I think the capacity is like 42,000. It's not small, but I thought it would be a little bit bigger than that. But even so, the Allianz Stadium, a new build stadium, quite nice, no doubt about that. The kits are in the game, absolutely beautiful as well. Juve obviously going for a rebrand with their new logo a few years ago as well. I was thinking opening day, Allianz Stadium. Tough one here against Fiorentina. They'll be one of the top 6-7 teams in the Serie this year, but I want a fast start and a win on the opening day. And I wanted to see Dusan Vlahovic get a goal or two as well. Dusan Vlahovic is a striker, despite all his ability and potential I've never used before. I was excited to see if he was just as much of a tank in the game as he is in real life. The answer was yes. This dude was literally unstoppable against his former team. Juve spent the big bucks to bring him from Fiorentina to Turin, and in this game I saw exactly why. He was an absolute tank. He's quick, he's so strong, he's 6'3", and he's a clinical finisher as well. He's the complete package, and he scored my opening 2 goals and got the assist for the dagger as well, as Ribeiro came off the bench to wrap it up. Match day 1, I wanted to win, and we got it as well. Juve 3, Fiorentina 1, and this season asked to win the title, and let's be honest here, whilst a couple of objectives isn't in the game, probably that as well. The perfect start for Juventus. We can't afford slip-ups at home this season, 1 from 1, and right now I'm already saying, guys, put your money on Vlahovic winning the Golden Boot. This guy looks like my type of striker to a T. But that will end this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, like, much of you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for next episode featuring transfer deadline day signings and the draw for the Champions League group stage as well very soon.